Hello and welcome to this morning's live Q&A for Clearing. This morning we are talking all things science with Robin Maytum, who's the Principal Lecturer in Biomedical Science. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. Just to get an overview from you really first, before we start, about everything kind of science at Bedfordshire, all the various courses that applicants can study here.
So we offer a very broad range of courses here at the University of Bedfordshire in the School of Life Sciences. Our premier course is probably our Biomedical Science course for those of you who want to go on to work in hospitals doing analytical work like we're seeing currently with the demands of the COVID pandemic. Lots of the work supporting analysis in hospital is done by biomedical scientists. So this course is a key thing to support our NHS and for people who are interested in medicine in general. On a broader basis, we have a basic biology course, which covers the breadth of biology from everything from environmental science to talking about our changing environment through to things like animal and plant physiology. So it's a much more broadly based degree course. For people who want to specialise in the more biotech end of sciences, life sciences, we have things like biochemistry, which works on the molecular structure of molecules, understanding how molecules work. This is the foundation of the drug companies and the developments in our biotech industries. So that's about understanding how life works at a molecular level within the cells rather than at a whole organism cell level like you might look at in biology or even in biomedical science, where of course humans are the animal rather than animals are animals. We have some more specialist areas. We have a pharmaceutical and chemical sciences and a pharmaceutical and health sciences, pharmacology and health sciences degree, which are aimed towards people who've got an interest in the sort of pharmacology, pharmaceutical areas more specifically. Those give you a chance to learn about things to do with things like drug development more specifically, how drugs work, the ideas of things like ADME, absorption, metabolism, dispersion, excretion within the body, about how drug dispensing works, how drugs work in terms of human health. I mean, the pharmacology and health science course is really about how drugs interact with society and how we use drugs in the wider society and the impact they have on them. Alongside those courses, the sort of slightly more molecular science areas, we also have a range now of forensic science courses, which are very popular with a range of students. For people who like CSI and similar and want to understand how all the actual forensic science that supports criminal cases is done and is undertaken and how it works. We have a forensic science course, which is based on the science of analysing crime scenes and what goes alongside them. So everything from DNA fingerprinting through to ideas about how you can date crime scenes, to things like how quickly flies grow on bodies and things, which tells you the age of how long after a body has died it has been recovered, to forensic science and criminology, which is also brings in the criminal side of it, taking things to court and how the criminal process works. So we've got a very broad range of courses at the university, and they're all actually supported in what you can see behind me, our wonderful brand new STEM building, only built just before the pandemic started, £40 million investment by the university, giving us state-of-the-art facilities for the teaching to take place in.
Fantastic, and no spoilers for what's coming up, but I think you might be showing us
taking you on a little tour in
as well.
Yes.
If anyone watching interested in any of the courses that Robin has mentioned, you can see a full list on the website, beds.ac.uk/clearing. And if you've got any questions while we've got Robin on the live, do drop them in the comment box on Facebook and YouTube, or DM us via Instagram. So Robin, a couple of questions have come in. About accreditation of courses. Are our courses accredited?
So at the moment, our Biomedical Science course is accredited by the IBMS, the Institute of Biomedical Scientists. This is the body which is responsible for the accreditation of the biomedical scientists working in the NHS and supporting industries. So that's very important. That's the first step towards becoming an accredited biomedical scientist, which is a protected career title. So you actually have to have a qualification to be able to call yourself a biomedical scientist, and you have to be registered with the society. We are working towards accreditation for our forensic science course. That should be coming on stream in the next year or so. So again, that will take you, if you're aiming on working in the forensic science area, take you an extra step along the career pathway and have a degree which is actually recognised by a society which shows it's as good as any other degree in the country in this area.
Brilliant, thank you. So just so anyone watching can get an idea of the kinds of work graduates can go on to, what impact on society does the work that you do as a department have in the wider community?
So from my own personal point of view, for the last 18 months or so, I've spent a significant amount of time actually working throughout in the university, because we've become involved in a COVID-based project looking at inactivating media to make it safer to sample viral samples from people when you're going through COVID testing. So when you have your swab stuck up your nose, you put it into your little tube full of liquid, and at the moment that liquid keeps the virus alive and potentially infectious to other people, and that's right the way through the handling process until they get it into a lab and put in something to inactivate the virus and stop it from being infectious. We've been working with a company to produce a new media which will actually effectively kill the virus immediately as soon as you put the swab into the tube, which makes the whole thing safe to handle. If you spill it, you're not going to infect other people if it contains live virus. If it's going through the post, it can't be broken and spill and infect people and so on. And that's actually a product that's now gone into market through the company we're working with. We've got a MSc student who's been doing research on this and helping them with the development, been working at the university for the last year on this project, which is funded by the UK government. We're doing things at the university which make a real impact to people's lives, and especially now, specific with this during the pandemic.
Yeah, and what a great thing for students to be getting involved with and know that we're part of that as well. That's fantastic. Robin, you've kind of touched on the STEM building that you are in. So it is our most recent building to our Luton campus, £40 million investment from the university. Do you reckon you could give us a little tour of the lab?
Take you around and have a look around.
Yeah, let's take a look.
This is on the second level of our STEM building. I'll take you towards the stairwell, which is one of the grand bits of this building, and you'll be able to see around. What we're going to do is we're going to have a quick walk into one of the labs where we are teaching students now on campus. We have MSc students at the moment working on doing research work projects. You can see we're into it's a bit noisy. You can see some of our students working on their project work in the lab. So we are back on campus. We are doing things as normal. I'll take you and show you a few. I mentioned flies earlier. If you can see, we are growing, or they are growing flies, which are being used to study decomposition studies. We'll move out and along out of the slightly noisy environment where our forensic science students are working, and we'll wander upstairs and I'll take you to some of the other labs where we have students working on microbiology. If you look, you can see down behind me, the stairwell goes through the 4 floors of this building. On the bottom floors, we have engineering and computer science departments. Our science department has got 2 floors in this building, so we've got quite a lot of footprint. If we turn around, this is another one of the teaching labs at the moment where we've got work going on. I'm not going to go in here because at the moment in this lab, we've got students doing their projects working on MRSA. MRSA, you probably should have heard about, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. This is hospital-based infections which are becoming difficult to treat because of antibiotic resistance. And so we've actually got student projects going on looking at MRSA. And so they're working here in the labs at the moment as we would normally. We are now back to campus and we're looking to teach in a normal fashion in the new year. Hopefully the research lab is open. No, the research lab is not open. These things are never timed well. If you excuse me for a moment while I find the key. This is a research lab, which is why it's locked if there's not somebody currently in it. So this gives you an idea of the research labs in the department. So we have active research going in the department. As you'll have understood from what I told you, we have people like myself working collaboratively with industry. So you're being taught by people who know what they're doing and know what they're talking about because they're doing it in real life at the moment. So this is actually a functional and busy working environment. Let me take you through a little bit further. So this is into more of our teaching area, apart from the one behind me, which you can see says no unauthorized entry, hazardous area, and a bunch of signs. This is where we're doing the COVID work in the department. We have further teaching labs behind me, where we have things like tissue culture for growing cells. If I take you through, I'll open it up just briefly. So these are class 2 fume hoods, which are used for growing mammalian cells in culture. This is something that you may do as a final year project or as part of specific practicals. And again, you can see we've got an active working environment with lots of lab space and lots of shiny equipment so that you're taught using real equipment. Oh, actually, while I'm here, which is used in real life to do this sort of things that you may be doing in the real world. In terms of real world, behind me, this is a qPCR machine. These are the sorts of traces that you may see which are used to detect things like COVID. So this is a machine that is used the same as in the testing labs, which is used to test for COVID. So this is a qPCR machine. As you can see, we've got a couple of these machines which are used for both research and teaching within the university. So we're a very well-equipped university now. We've had significant investment over the past few years, and we have an active staff who are engaged in both teaching and research.
That's brilliant. I think from that we get the kind of idea of the size of the footprint that we occupy for these courses. So thank you for that. I think you're frozen on screen at the moment. There you're back. So thank you for that in-depth tour. That was brilliant. Before you go, what advice would you give anybody thinking of applying for a course at the University of Bedfordshire?
The biggest advice that I could give anybody looking to apply to us is speak to us, talk to us, and come and see us, because you'll be surprised both at the quality of the environment we have, but also the friendliness and helpfulness of the staff involved, like myself. Coming and visiting us is one of the biggest things you can do. We are open for visits. We're more than happy to see you. We're more than happy to speak to you and encourage you to come and join us.
Brilliant. And on that note, we do have open days, on-campus open days happening in September, and campus tours. Do visit the website for all the details, beds.ac.uk/open days. Robin, thank you very much for your time this morning.
A pleasure. I hope to speak to you again soon, and I hope for people to come and join us and see the university and our fantastic facilities.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.